Hi, my name is Mike Stratton. Today we're going to be talking about avoiding argumentation. One of the interesting things about this particular technique in motivational interviewing is that it's the only technique that tells you what not to do. All of the other techniques, if you've noticed, describe a certain kind of behavior. One of the things that it assumes is that resistance is difficult, change is difficult. Resistance is normal. Usually people are ambivalent. Usually people have mixed feelings when they're thinking about or even considering the possibility of making a change. Think about it in terms of your own life. Think about things that you've tried to change yourself. It's not easy, is it? Usually big changes that people have made come after months and sometimes even years of considering, am I going to make this change or not? So arguing with yourself about it and arguing with other people about the need for change is kind of a normal thing. When you notice that in an interview session, what you want to do right away is to change the technique that you're using. Whatever you're doing isn't working. It's evoked some of the argumentation, and you want to avoid that. You don't want to be fighting with the client. You want to collaborate with the client. One of the things that you'll see me doing today is expressing empathy, but also using double-sided reflections in terms of helping this person kind of connect with their own ambivalence. That it's not her against me, it's her thinking about this internally. So let's meet our client. Hi.
Hi.
Good to see you, Linda.
Thank you.
It's been a while. It's been a long time.
Yeah,
it was about a year ago, I think, that we met last.
At least, yep.
Yeah, I think so. I tried to make a couple calls and couldn't connect with you, so.
Well, I have an answering machine, but yeah, I was hard to probably get a hold of.
Yeah.
I work a lot of hours.
How are you doing? How's it going today?
Good.
What was it like getting here today? It's kind of a nice warm day.
It was a beautiful day. Good. I just had to get a ride from a friend, so I was kind of a little rushed around this morning.
Okay. Well, good for you. I mean, you clearly went to some effort to get here, so it's yeah. Well, I really appreciate it. I appreciate the amount of attention you're giving your own health with this. So. Let's talk a little bit about what we found out today, because you've just gone through some of the screening and you got some new information and stuff. Do you have any reactions just off the top? I noticed that some of the the BMI, the body mass index, is a little higher than what we usually would like. The 25 is and above, you start to get concerned. You're at 26, so you're just.
Oh, okay. So I'm not really that far over.
just
over.
Just over. Yeah. Do you have any thoughts about that or any concerns about that at all?
No, I think that's pretty good.
Yeah. Okay. So you're kind of pleased with that it's not even higher, so it's.
Yeah. I mean, within a range, I'm just one over, so I feel like that's pretty good.
Okay. And your blood pressure was normal. Cool. What are you doing for that? I mean, you must be doing something that helps.
Nothing really.
Yeah. Okay. Your cholesterol is 281, and that's pretty high. That's kind of high.
What's normal on that?
Well, let's take a look.
What's the range?
Let's take a look. You see, that's good. That would be good. And that's beginning high. So you're in the high range. Yeah. Any thoughts or?
Well, it's a little. Yeah, it is a little high. I guess it's high, so I guess that's something I need to. I don't know.
Well,
it's not that bad.
Sometimes people will make some changes in their diet, and that might be something to consider, or something we could talk about a little bit.
Sure, we could. We could talk about it, I guess, yeah.
Okay. I have in my notes here that you love to cook. I mean, that's something that you really enjoy doing.
Yeah, I don't have a lot of time to do it, but I do like to when I have time.
What sort of things do you like to cook?
I like to grill, actually. We do
really?
a lot of grilling.
Grilling
I like to eat meat. Yeah,
okay.
And stuff that fits on the grill, baked potatoes and that kind of thing. And
okay.
Yeah, so that's kind of the basic things we do.
Is your family, do they like the same kind of foods that you cook and all that stuff?
Yeah, it's just me and my boyfriend. And
boyfriend.
I do a lot of cooking for him when I cook, and he's kind of a meat and potatoes guy, so that's basically what we have.
Okay. So one thing that you do is a lot of meat. Have you done any kind of vegetables in grilling? Have you ever done that? Done a
No,
kind of a
no.
kebab where you put the different kind of vegetables on it?
Sometimes I'll put shrimp on a kebab once in a while,
yeah,
but it's kind of expensive,
delicious.
so I don't do that very often.
Yeah, it is expensive.
Yeah.
Well, nowadays it's going to get even more expensive. Okay, so a couple of other things. Your HDL cholesterol is in the desirable range, so it's 41. So that's your good.
Okay. Good.
Your good cholesterol. That's positive. And your fasting glucose is 112, and that is undesirable. And what we recommend at that point is that you really see your doctor about that. Do you have a thought about that? Do you?
No, not really. I mean, I'm looking at the scale here, and
Yeah.
it's 112 is still pretty close to 100, so I'm feeling like it's maybe a little bit higher than it should be, but not a lot. So.
So there's
Pretty good.
so you've got, on the one hand, you've got some areas of your health that are doing really, really well, and you're really feeling good about that. And then in a couple of areas, we're seeing trends where it's starting to go a little high, a little into the undesirable area, a little into areas that put you at more risk, for health concerns.
Okay.
And it sounds like you're kind of like still more or less okay with that. Is that accurate, or?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's really good. I mean, I feel good. I'm tired, but I work a lot of hours on my job, and I'm kind of a fill-in too, so I'm there a lot, so and I'm kind of rushing around and doing a lot of stuff. So I feel like what I have here is really, really good. I'm actually really happy with it. So
it's been a while since we met. Remind me what you do for a living.
I work at a convenience store.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Great. Okay, so you have a lot on your literally you have a lot on your plate, kind of, so to speak, in a way, and so there's a lot going on, and so to make a change that might help your health in some kind of way would be difficult.
Well, yeah, because I don't know if I'd say that, but I mean, I work a lot of hours. I'm really busy. I work a lot of hours, like into the night even. So, and a lot of times I don't know when that's coming up, when my shift is going to change, or when I have added hours. So, I feel like with the pace that I'm keeping and everything that I'm doing, and that I mean, these results are pretty good. I mean, I think, and I feel good. So I feel like. If I felt bad, maybe I might want to make a change, but I'm feeling reasonably good. So
okay. So help me understand a little bit. I mean, one thing I'm so impressed by is that you had to talk to a friend to get yourself here. You came here. I mean, all this is voluntary. You took time out of your schedule to be here. So in one way, your health is really important to you, But at the same time, when you're seeing evidence of things that are starting to trend in a way that looks risky, that could develop into, that risky now could become even worse if something doesn't change. You're kind of, I'm kind of okay with that.
Well, I mean, I guess we just see it differently. I think that, I feel like you're making it worse than it is, in a way. So,
okay. I might be more worried about it than you are.
Well, yeah, and these numbers, they're really not they're not in that high or alert areas, so I feel like they might be a little high, and maybe that's just the test for that day or something.
If it was in an alert area, that would be a real risk. Then it would be like, I talked to someone.
For now, I think they're good.
Yeah. Okay. So the idea of like if it became alarming, or if there was a crisis or something like that.
Well, if I was feeling lousy or something, but I don't really feel that bad. So I mean, I don't feel bad at all, really. I'm just tired from all my work. So.
Okay. So one thing I noticed, and I just want to kind of clarify with you that sense of like I see it differently than you see it in a way. I want to be really clear that the way it's not you against me in that sense. It's not like I'm trying to. It's not like we're having a tug of war over your health. I'm on one side, you're on the other.
Sure.
Usually people feel kind of both ways internally. They feel that way themselves. So my guess is that there's a part of you that is concerned enough about your health to take the steps that you've taken just to be here. There's another part of you that says, man, I'm so busy. I got enough going on already. I know what I'm doing, It's not that bad yet. And so does that fit for you? It's you kind of have both sides of that inside yourself?
Well, this program is good because it's, they make it pretty easy to get to be here and to have this,
For sure.
all these services. I mean,
This
and I can't
information.
afford to do this on my own. I mean, I work a lot of hours, but I don't make a lot of money at all. So, I'm paying my rent and stuff and barely making a car payment. So, the fact that I can get these services for nothing or for very low cost, it makes it just so much
Sure.
easier. It makes it worth coming here. But I mean, in terms of my cholesterol, I don't think it's that high, and I just my diet is a good one. It's easy.
Oh, you could be
it's
doing
quick.
You could be doing fried foods. You could be doing doing a lot worse. Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
I feel like it's
Yeah.
pretty good, really.
One of the things I noticed that you brought up was the thing about finances, and that's an important thing. It sounds like you really are motivated to do things that don't cost a lot of money down the line. One thing that we know is that we can do things preventatively with our health that keeps us from having big expenses, big medical expenses down the line. And simple things, just having a couple of pieces of fruit a day or something along those lines can be something that can really make a difference in some of these levels. Any thoughts about that?
Well, yeah. I mean, I've tried to do that before, and really, I just I don't like salads. I don't eat salads. I'm one of those. I don't like them.
Okay. Yeah.
They're too much effort to put together. They take too much time. And a lot of times that stuff just goes to waste in my refrigerator.
Oh.
So
throwing out groceries.
Yeah, it's expensive to buy all that stuff. It doesn't. It's easier to buy just a hamburger or whatever and grill it, and then I'm all set. So potatoes are inexpensive, and so I mean, I do like to experiment with a few ingredients and like spices and that kind of thing.
Yeah. What do you like? What do you enjoy? What kind of spices have you played with?
Well, I'll marinate stuff, or I'll put like a rub on it, and do that with the steaks. But I'm also cooking for my boyfriend, and he's not going to eat that stuff either. So that I basically cook what we'll both eat, and it's easy. So
yeah, gotcha. One of the things that I'm hearing, Linda, is that you you feel almost overwhelmed by how much you have to do and how busy things are. And you have some things that are working, that really feel like they're working just as far as schedule goes, and in terms of what you like to eat and all this kind of stuff. And yet, at the same time, we are seeing some trends that are pretty risky. And I'm just curious, for you, is there anything that you feel like you would want to change, either with cholesterol or with the glucose in particular? Anything that you feel like you'd want to change?
Well, I don't really feel like I want to. I mean, I'm fine with my diet. I'm. It's just right now with everything that I have going on, it's just easy. It's not complicated. My husband or my boyfriend will eat it.
You'd like him to be your husband?
Yeah, I would really like him to ask me to marry him.
Is that going to happen?
No,
never.
What's
up with this?
No.
All right.
But I would really like, it's just easier because he'll eat it. If I go way too far off the normal, he's not gonna eat it, and then I got to hear about it. So I don't know if there's. So I'm not sure that really right now diet is the. Is there anything else I can do to improve these things, or is it only diet?
Well, diet is a big area, but the other thing is exercise. That's another possibility.
Well,
but again, it's up to you. I mean, it's important that this is your plan.
Well, I could see. I work about 2 miles from where I live, so it is kind of a hike. So normally I get a ride to work. I don't walk it. But I could see maybe walking part of the way or something. Now the weather's nice, I could maybe try that. But the diet stuff is going to be not quite where I'm going to put any effort in, probably.
So if you could walk part of the way to work, once a week or once a, what do you think even with that? How often would that happen?
I mean, I could try it. I mean, like I
Uh-huh.
said, my schedule's, you know, sometimes I can rely on it, sometimes I can't. If I'm working at night, I can't walk at night.
Uh-huh.
But I could try to walk maybe part of the way, and then he could pick me up part of, you know, take me the rest of the way back.
Okay. 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 So, and he'd be involved with it. Does he like exercise, or does he like the idea of you exercising, or?
Well, I mean, you know, I'm on my feet all day at work, so
Oh,
kind
yeah.
of the idea of doing more walking isn't really the most fun idea that I've had all day. But I'm willing to maybe make a effort on that, maybe. He's not really into it because, you know, he's doing his own thing, and, you know, he doesn't really, he's not going to say don't or do something. He's just not going to get in the way.
Gotcha.
You know,
Gotcha. Yeah, and standing is kind of exhausting when you're just standing in.
Well,
do
yeah.
You run
yeah.
the cash register? Or
I'm
do you,
all over the store.
You're
I'm
stocking,
doing everything. I
you're
stock, I
you're
wait the
doing
counter.
everything.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm washing
Gotcha.
the windows if they need it.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Okay. Okay. Terrific. Well, it sounds like one of the things that you're willing to look at then is the possibility of increasing some exercise.
I could try it.
Yeah, and we can see if that has an effect on these numbers too. You know, so so maybe one of the things you can do is write that down. It's always helpful. One thing that we've seen is that when people write down their goals, they're more likely to follow through with them. They're a good reminder. You'll have a copy of it. I'll have a copy of it, and we can see what'll happen. That's terrific. Well, it's something that you've had some experience of doing before, is walking, and you know how far it is, and you know,
Yeah, I know how far
that
it is.
maybe even if your boyfriend can help you a little bit with this, that might be something that, especially when it's nice out, it might be a part of your routine.
Yeah.
It sounds like you are pretty okay with the way things are right now, that you're feeling pretty good about it. Not very motivated to make any kind of changes at this point. You would be motivated if things got worse. How much worse would they have to get before you would? Can we even identify numbers, or could you mark, you know, where would it be that I would make a change? I would start eating vegetables or fruit, or I would start exercising or something. Where would it be?
Well, for my cholesterol, what is it right now again?
Your cholesterol was 281. Where would that be here?
Oh.
Can you mark that? That's. Oh no,
Oh,
I'm
it's
sorry.
up here.
I'm sorry.
Total cholesterol.
There you go. Where would that be right
I
now?
guess if it was maybe.
Sits up in this red
Yeah,
area.
it's in the yeah.
That high, kind of getting blistering hot.
Yeah.
Hotter.
Well,
sorry.
it's not that bad. So I mean, 400 is alert. You know, I would say, you know, maybe 320. I mean, if you're going to make me pick a number, 320.
If it got up to 320, that would be really alarming.
Well, that would start to tell me then I'm creeping up to 400, maybe. Yeah.
Oh, so 400 would really be a really.
Yeah, I mean high. I mean really, what? I just high is high, but it's not like. I don't know.
Yeah.
So, but 400 says an alert. 400 says do something. So.
And
that's
again,
kinda how
I mean, I'm not a doctor, but I mean, one of the recommendations is to check in with your doctor and maybe even to learn more about what cholesterol means. We've got information about cholesterol and what can happen if someone. Oh, I just saw it. I just saw when I said that. I just saw you just kind of. Ooh, there's a part of this you'd really prefer not to look at. Can we talk about that for a second?
You know, I don't. Reason why I'm here is because I can afford to get this kind of coverage. I mean, I don't go to my doctor because I'm, you know, it costs too much, and I can never get in when I want to get in. You know, and when I'm sick, it's hard to get in. So, I don't really see my doctor unless I'm really. I mean, I basically work sick, I guess. You know, I don't want to tell my boss that, but so.
Well, let me share with you one thing that I do know, and that is that if your cholesterol gets up into those areas, those kinds of numbers, 280, 300, those kinds of numbers, I'm almost positive your doctor is going to be talking to you about not just a change in diet, but some medication that you'd need to be on to try to lower your cholesterol rate. Things that probably are a lot more expensive, things that would be a lot more difficult for you to kind of pull off. So. again, that's just food for thought. That's just something for you to kind of consider. There may be some steps that you could take currently that might be relatively simple, somewhat unpleasant, foods that you're not that crazy about, but you're an expert. You're an expert at seasoning and trying to figure out how to make something more tasty, you know, more delicious, you know, you know how to do that. So there may be some way that you can change your diet in a way if you use that creative cook part of you. I don't know. What do you think?
Well,
I don't know.
I just don't have a lot of time to do it.
That's the dilemma,
You know, I mean, that's
isn't it?
the problem.
It's
You know,
the
I
time and
don't
it's the
work
money.
real regular hours, and you know, I'm working a lot of hours and not making a lot. So, you know, so it's just kind of, I just want to do quick and easy and something that fills me up. So
Okay. Well, one thing we know about when people are even beginning to think about the possibility of change is that sometimes it's really difficult for them, and sometimes they go back and forth and they kind of argue internally. One thing I just even wonder about is, would it be possible for you to even consider, like, what would it be like if I started to, you know, walk a few minutes every day, or to eat some vegetables, or to look at a couple recipes where maybe it's not salads, but maybe it's other vegetables that would be, you could make them delicious in some kind of way that doesn't increase your, you know, your cholesterol. Would you be open to that? I mean, if you were to kind of investigate that, and we could talk in a couple weeks or a few weeks, I'd check in with you and see how that's going.
I guess I could do that. Yeah.
Okay. What piece of that sounds like possible for you to consider or to look at?
I guess I could look and see if there were some things that I could add, maybe when I grill, maybe, I don't know.
Okay. What, you want to write that down? If you write that down, and then you'll have a reminder of it, and I'll have a reminder of it, and you can take it out with you today, and then when I call you, I'll remember, and you'll remember, you know, how it's going, and we can take a look at that. I know this is really, and again, I just want to appreciate how I can see the struggle that's going on with you, and that it's a hard thing to kind of get to, and that there's a part of you that's like, you know, well, there's some smoke right now, but I don't see any flames, you know, and when the flames come, maybe that's when I'll call the fire department. That sort of thought, you know, it's, yeah.
Do I have to do anything with this here?
No, just write that down. And again, thanks for coming in today, and I appreciate, you know, the effort that you took, and you've got a very busy schedule, and it's clear once again that your health is important enough to come here and have some conversations that are kind of difficult to have, it sounds like, and so even after our conversation today, as you leave here, you may be thinking about different health changes that are possible for you to make. So appreciate you taking the time to be here today. Thanks so much.
Thanks.
All right. Okay, so let's take a look at what we just saw. And what we had today was a really excellent example of being able to try to avoid argumentation. So Linda came in, and she was clearly in a position of pre-contemplation. When we look at the stages of change model, and we always try to root our technique out of that, she's in pre-contemplation. She does not think that she needs to change. Being able to move someone from pre-contemplation into contemplation is a big step. Even the ability to begin to consider the possibility of change. That's an important thing. Very unlikely that we're going to get her to the point of actually changing her behavior in one short segment. But there were many opportunities today to argue. She offered a very beautifully put, subtle resistance. She was very, very entrenched in her position, and the different possibilities that I was offering were not going anywhere. So there were lots of opportunities for me to potentially argue with her. One of the places that she offered the opportunity to argue with her is that when she said, once my cholesterol gets up to 360, then I'll start to get concerned about it. That's an excellent opportunity to argue with somebody, and it was really difficult to resist that. So let's take a look at that.
It's not that bad. So, I mean, 400 is alert. You know, I would say, you know, maybe 320. I mean, if you're going to make me pick a number, 320.
If it got up to 320, that would be really alarming to
Well,
you.
that would start to tell me then I'm creeping up to 400, maybe. Yeah.
Oh, so 400 would really be. One of the things that you'll notice that I had to do a lot was to express empathy and to support what the efforts that she took to be here, and to reflect back again and again the importance that she put on her own health. You can take a look at that. You've got a very busy schedule, and it's clear once again that your health is important enough to come here and have some conversations that are kind of difficult to have, it sounds like. And so even after our conversation today, as you leave here, one of the traps that I really tried to avoid when someone is laying out being very, very resistant is that it starts to feel like a tug of war. And I think I even mentioned that with Linda at one point, where it feels like my point against her point. And she even stated, obviously we have different perspectives on that. And so I want to really make it clear to the person I'm working with that it's not me against her, that she has internal ambivalence, that she goes back and forth herself, and that we're not fighting about this, that she's fighting internally. Let's take a look at that.
Well, I mean, I guess we just see it differently. I think that, I feel like you're making it worse than it is. In a way. So.
Okay. It's not you against me in that sense. It's not like I'm trying to. It's not like we're having a tug of war over your health.
Sure.
I'm on one side, you're on the other.
Sure.
Usually, people feel kind of both ways internally. They feel that way themselves. So my guess is that there's a part of you that is concerned enough about your health to take the steps that you've taken. One of the things that we're always looking for in motivational interviewing is what motivates a person. Linda laid out a couple of different times strengths that she had. She talked about her cooking abilities, and she also talked about the importance of money. And so there were times in the session that I tried to link up interventions that were connected to those areas of motivation for her. Here's some examples of that. One of the things I noticed that you brought up was the thing about finances, and that's an important thing. It sounds like you really are motivated to do things that don't cost a lot of money down the line. One thing that we know is that we can do things preventatively with our health that keeps us from having big expenses, big medical expenses down the line. Linda did such a great job of resisting that I fell into a trap unconsciously of beginning to offer a lot of different solutions to her. Like, what would it be like if I started to, walk a few minutes every day, or to eat some vegetables, or to look at a couple recipes where maybe it's not salads, but maybe it's other vegetables that would be, you could make them delicious in some kind of way that doesn't increase your, your cholesterol. One of the things you can do when you catch yourself doing that is to say, what do you think? What is there anything here that you want to change? Is there an area that you would want to make different? Let's take a look at that. For you, is there anything that you feel like you would want to change, either with cholesterol or with the glucose in particular? Anything that you feel like you'd want to change?
Well, I could see maybe walking part of the way or something. Now the weather's nice, I could.
One of the things you'll see is that there's a point in the interview where Linda has a big reaction to something I've said. When you notice that, nonverbals, it's important to point that out, because that's a key sticking point for someone. Let's take a look. We've got information about cholesterol and what can happen if someone, I just saw it. I just saw it when I said that. I just saw you just kind of, there's a part of this you'd really prefer not to look at. Can we talk about that for a second?
I don't, reason why I'm here is.
So in summary, change is difficult. Not everyone that you meet with is ready to change. Some people are just at a point where they're beginning to consider the possibility to change. They may be months, years away from it. There's a percentage of the people that you meet with who will never change, and that's just a fact. So one of the things that you do when you find someone who's in that pre-contemplation point is to not fight with them, to let them know that this is a safe place, this is a soft place to land, this is a place where they can bring their concerns, and when they are more ready later on down the line, they might be more open to some suggestions. But in the short run, just the possibility that maybe they could change, that maybe this could make a difference to them, and they begin to entertain that notion, that's really significant, because it moves someone from pre-contemplation into contemplation. And in the change game, that is success.